Okay, let's do our first practice. For rounding problem, you just need to remember one rule is 4/5 rounding rules. So this means 4 or less, leave alone, and 5 or more, round up. So just remember this one and you can solve all the problems for here. Okay, for this first one is 1389 and 5263. For this one is the first one is 1. Let's look at this one. This one is 5, so which is round up. It's kind of like round up is +1 for here. And then because this is 9, we can just plus 1 more, so it's 1390. And for the tens, for the 10 is round to 8, and then we need to decide. We need to look at 9. For 9 is 5 more, so it's 1390. And for the 100, is 1389, and then for the 100 is 8. 8 is 5 more, so we round up is 140. And next one for tens is 0.5263. For tens is this one, and we look at 2. For 2 is 4 or less, so leave alone, so it's kind of 3. And for the hundreds, is 2, round to hundreds, and we need to look at 6. So like 6 is 5 more, so it's round up. So this is change to 3 is 9.53. Next one, first decimal place. First decimal place is the same to tens, so it's 9.5. Second decimal place is similar to hundreds, so it's 1389.53. Okay, so let's do the next one. And let's do next one, 33/7. So this one is not decimal. The first things we need to change into decimal. Use your calculator. So 33 divided 7 is 10.4285, and then for 1 and 4 is 4 less, so leave it alone, so we just write 10. And for 10, because it's 0, so we can just write 10 the same. And for hundreds, we don't have hundred, so we don't need to think about 100. And for the tens, we just look at hundreds. Hundreds is 2, so we just leave it alone, so it's 10.4. And for the hundreds, we need to look at 8. 8 is 5 or more, so we round up, so it's 10.43. And for the first decimal place is similar to 10, so it's 10.4, and the last one is similar to the same as hundreds, so it's 10.43. And okay, let's look at the next one is 547.77. And for this one, if we need to round to 1, and for 1, and we need to look at 7, so 7 is 5 or more, so we round up is 548. And for the tens, we need to look at 7, and so we need to round up, so it's 550. And for the hundreds, we need to look at 4, so 4 is 4 less, so we need to leave alone, so it's 500. And for the tens, we need to look at the hundreds, so it's 7, so it's round up, so it's 547.8. And now for hundreds, we don't have anything here, so we just think about it, it's 0. So 0 is 4 less, so we just leave it alone, so it's 547.77. And then the first decimal place is the same as tens, so it's 547.8. And then the last one is the same as the hundreds, so it's 547.77. Okay, the last one, square root 50. And for this one, use your calculator to find the value. So this one equals to, and for 1, we need to look at the 2, so 2 is 2 more, 2 less, so leave it alone, so it's 61. And for tens, 10, we need to look at 1 is 4 less, so leave it alone, so it's 60. Then for hundreds, we need to look at 6 is 5 or more, so we round up, so it's 100. And for tens, we need to look at 3. So 3 is 4 or less, leave alone, so it's 61.2. And for the hundreds, we need to look at 7. 7 is 5 or more, so we round up, it's 61.24. And then for the rest is 61.2 and 61.24. Okay. number 2. And for number 2, I will write the rules again. So it's 4 or less, leave alone, and 5 or more, and round up. So this is the basic rules, the only one rules. Just remember this one. And then the first one is 75.5825. And for the tens, we need to look at 8. 8 is 5 or more, so we round up is 75.6. And for 10, we need to look at 5. So 5 is 5 or more, so we round up is 80. Hundreds, we look at a 2. So 2 is 4 or less, so it's 75.58. So we just leave alone. And 3 decimals place, and 3 decimals place is thousands. And we need to look at 5. So 5 is 5 or more, so we round up. So it's 75.58. And for the integers, which means 1. And then we need to look at 5. So 5 is 5 or more, so we round up is 76. And the 1 decimal place is, so it is 76. Okay, next one, and 83 and 2 over 3. So for this one, and if you use your calculator, so this one is 83.6666 and infinity. And for this one, for tens and 6 is, for tens we need to look at the 6. So 6 is 5 or more, so round up is 83.7. And for 10, and we need to look at 3. 3 is 4 or less, so leave it alone, so it's 80. And for hundreds, and we need to look at the thousands. Thousands is 6. 6 is 5 or more, so it's round up, so it's 67. And then for the 3 decimals place is still 6 and 5 or more, so we round up is 83.667. And for the integers is 1, we need to look at the 6. So 6 is still 5 or more, round up is 4. And for the last one, 10, 1 decimal place is tenths, so it's 83.7. And for the next one, the next one is -252.7839. Yeah, this one is a negative, but it still follow the same rules, okay? And for this one, for the tens, and we need to look at 8. 8 is 5 or more, so it's round up, and it's -525. And for 10, we need to look at 2. 2 is 4 or less, so we just leave it alone, so -250. And for the hundreds, we need to look at the 3. 3 is 4 or less, so leave alone, so it's -2.7. And next one, 3 decimals places, and for this one we need to look at 9. 9 is 5 or more, we round up, so it's -252.784. And then integer is 1, we need to look at 7. 7 is 5 or more, so we round up, so it's -253. And for the 1 decimal place is tens, so it's -252.8. Okay, next one is square root. Next one is square root 8563. So use your calculator to find the value. So this one equals to 2.4. And then for the tens, we need to look at 3. So this is 4 or less, leave alone, 22 point. And then for 10, we need to look at 2. So we need to leave alone, so it's 90. And for the hundreds, we look at 6. 6 is round up, so it's 92.56. And for the 3 decimal places, and we look at 4, so we just leave it alone, so it's 92.536. And for the integers, it's 1, we look at 5. 5 is, we need to round up, so it's 93. The last one, 1 decimal place, so this is tenths, so it's 92.5. Okay, for last one is 25, and for tens, there's nothing here, we just write 0, so it's 25.0. And even this is 0, and you must write 0 here, okay? And for the 10, and this is 5, so we round up, is 30. And for the hundreds, and it's 0, we just leave alone, but remember, you need to write the 0 here. And for the 3 decimal place, the same is write 0 here. And for the integer, and it's 0 is 25, and the 1 decimal place, the same as tens, so it's 25.0. Okay, so now let's do 9 and evaluate the following if C is equals to B equals to -3 and show your substitutions. And remember, for this one you need to write bracket here because for neg B is -3, don't forget the negative. Okay, so the first one, C minus B equals to 2 minus -3, and negative times negative is positive, so it's 2 plus 3 equals to 5. And for B is 2 times C is 2, and 5 times B is -3, and 2 times 2 is 4. And this one, negative, this is -5, and -5 times -3 is positive, so it's positive, so it's 19. And for this one is C raised to the power of 4 is 2 raised to the power of 4, and negative raised to the power of 2. Well, this is 4, okay? So for the first one is 16 times, and the negative raised to the power of 2 is -3 times -3, which is 9, is positive. So the answer is 144. And for C is 2, so it's 2 times 2 raised to the power of 3 plus 20. So this is 2 times 8 plus 20, so it's 36. And the E, and 1/2. And the C is 1/2. So C is 2, so 2 raised to the power of 2, and then so B is -3 raised to the power of 3, and 1/2, this is 4. And then -3 raised to the power of 3, and this one means -3 times -3 times -3, so it's -27 times -27, so it's totally cancel these two, it's -54. Okay, the last one as square root, we can just write this one here, and then 2 is 2, and then B is -3 square, and then it's here, this is 2 times 2 is 4 times 9, and then this one is 2 times 3 is 6. Okay, the last one, 12. In each of the following, solve the variables indicate, then substitute the given value and the answer to the nearest tens where necessary. And for A equals to S squared, S is positive, solve S and calculate the value of S when A is 41. So in this way is A equals to S squared, so we can write S equals to square root A. And then we put the value A here as equals to square root 441, so which is 21. And for B, V equals to L times B times H, so solve B. So in this way, and we need to isolate B first. How could we do that? And we need to, for the left part, we need to divide L and H, and for the right part, we need to divide L and H. So we can cancel LH on the right side, and we can rewrite the equation is V divide L and H, and then V is 75, L is 10, and H is 6. We put the value here, so it's B is 75 divided 10 times 6 equals to 1.3. And C, if S equals to 2 pi R square, and R is positive, and solve R and calculate the value when S is this value. So the first things we need to isolate R, and the first things we need to divide 2 pi on the right side, and don't forget divide the 2 pi on the left side, so we need to balance. And then so we can rewrite it is R squared equals to S divided 2 pi, and this one is squared, so we need to change it into R equals to square root S divided 2 pi, and then we put the S value in the equation equals to square root, and use your calculator, you can find it 790, and we need the tens, and 9 is 5 or more, so it's 7.4. Okay, D, if V equals to 1/3 pi R squared H, and we need to solve H, and then when the V equals to 20 and R is 9, The first things is we need to isolate h, and for here, and for the both sides we can times 3 first. So this is the first things we can cancel 1/3 here, and then we need to divide pi r on the both side, and then we can cancel this part. So we can rewrite the equation is h equals to v divide pi r square, and don't forget the 3 here. And then we can put the value in the equation. So it's 3 times 20 divide pi times I square, and use your calculator. So you can find so your answer is 2.2359, and we need the tens, and look at 3 is 4 or less, so we can leave it alone, so it's just 0.2. Okay, last one, v equals to 4/3 pi r cubed. We need to solve the r, and when v is 512. And for this one, and we need to do this one first. How to do this one? And we can times 3 and divide 4 on the right side, and on the left side times 3 and divide 4, so we can cancel this part. And then we need to divide pi on both sides, and we can rewrite the equation is r cubed equals to 3v divides 4 pi. And then for the cube, we can write r equals to cube root 3v over 4 pi. And the v is 512, so we can rewrite the equation is r equals to cube root 3 times 512 divided 4 pi, so it equals to 4.96, and we need to tens, and 6 is 5 or more, so we round up, so this is go, so the answer is 50. Don't forget a 0 here. You can leave a comment there. Okay, see you next time.